Aries, this is your energy check-in love reading. We're tuning into the person on your mind or your current situation and the energy unfolding for you right now. Let's see what wants to come through. Clear messages, advice, and guidance for my Aries, please. All right, your energy, the Page of Swords, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Your person, the Moon, Cancer, Pisces energy. They're viewing you as the Four of Cups, okay? So not emotionally available or possibly rejecting them. What you don't see, the Nine of Wands, okay? And we see the King of Swords, okay. For a lot of my Aries, I feel like this is a secret admirer, all right? And it may be that you've been checking them out too. And we see the Five of Cups in reverse. But it feels like you're going through something where you're still in the process of healing. So, I mean, it could be, you know, you've experienced some sort of personal loss or another relationship. Obviously, it could be with this person. We have strong Cancer, Pisces energy, but we also have strong Libra, Gemini, Aquarius showing up. So with the Page of Swords, I kind of feel like you've been checking this person out or you've been watching them as you've kind of been, but you haven't been making yourself particularly emotionally available or you've been healing here, okay? And we see the Devil in reverse. Ooh, so Capricorn energy. Some of you have a little bit of, you know, pessimism towards love or this particular connection. The Devil in reverse, though, is Capricorn energy. So, you know, it can also be a bit stubborn at times. But the Devil in reverse in the Page of Swords kind of tells me that you've been really focusing on cleaning up your side of the street. So if that's, you know, kicking bad habits here, Aries, if it's kicking bad habits or it's like paying off debt or it's just getting healthier, just, you know, releasing karmic ties, karmic situations, you're in this energy of like a new beginning, right? Like you're starting something new, because you're healing and you're releasing. Okay. So it's like a new version of yourself as you heal and you get ready for the next, whatever the next step is. All right. You're viewing this person as the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So it may be someone that you are in separation from, or you're seeing this person as single. So you see this person checks a lot of your boxes. They're single, they're independent, but you might not be so sure, or maybe you haven't seen them yet or enough to know if you want a relationship with them. All right, let's see how you're viewing the relationship. The Empress in reverse. All right, Taurus and Libran energy. So some of you, you know, this might be somebody that was not single. They weren't single. And so you may have had feelings for this person. You may have liked them. Some of you, maybe there was an affair here or something. But what I'm getting is you're viewing the relationship as third-party energy. And maybe because you're still healing from an ex or another situation and you're not really ready to jump into anything, or maybe you knew this person and they were with somebody else. But there is something here about this relationship where you're not sure that it's honoring your worth and your value. Again, it could be somebody who's at a distance or somebody who works a lot. In that sense, it would be like, I don't know if they can give me what I want. You know, maybe they don't make enough money, or maybe they're, you know, you're not sure that they're emotionally available to give you the relationship that you really want here. Okay, that's how you're viewing it right now. And again, some of you, because you're still focused on somebody else or you're letting go of someone or something else, so you're like, this relationship is kind of secondary right now. All right, this person, the King of Pentacles in reverse, that's a card for me, is like this person isn't quite who they seem. It doesn't have to be a bad thing though, okay? It can just be that looks are deceiving, or like don't judge a book by its cover. This person maybe they have experienced some sort of financial loss or lack, or they just haven't been, you know, in a stable, consistent way been giving to this connection. So you're like, yeah, I don't know if I can focus on this. I don't know if they can give me what I want. You know, like I need more than that. Okay, so let's go to the Oracle cards and see what advice and guidance Spirit has for you. All right, so we see invest wisely, which I think you're doing. You know, invest your attention into things that support, nurture, and challenge you in healthy ways to help your soul bloom. And some of my Aries, you are on some sort of, whether it's a sobriety journey or you're just like, you know, I'm cutting out the BS, right? I'm trimming the fat in my life in a lot of different areas. Okay. Don't wait to get picked. Don't chase anything that doesn't want to be caught. Instead, pick yourself up and forge ahead. Okay, beautiful. So, you know, you're not, and it feels like you're not. It feels like you're not sure here. You're not completely closed down to this person or this connection, but you're also not particularly dwelling on it either. You know, you're being discerning. You're checking things out. You're vetting them. You're gathering data. Yeah, and see, this is you in that devil energy in reverse, whether it deals with relationships, whether it's drinking, smoking, bad habits, you know, whatever it might be. You have let bad habits take hold of your life. It's time to uproot them and start fresh if you want to see a positive change in your life. Okay, so bad habits here. And that's what you're doing. That's the devil in reverse for you. Okay, and we do see that something isn't right here though, Aries. And I feel like that's why you're viewing the connection as the Empress in reverse. I don't know if you're like, okay, they're too recently out of a connection, or maybe I'm too recently out of a connection to move this forward, or they work too much, or they're at a distance, or, you know, I feel like I can't fully trust this. So trust your intuition and keep seeking for more answers until your situation feels right. Okay. Now, with the moon in reverse, Cancer, Pisces energy, I feel you have somebody that is going to be, you know, spilling the beans here, Aries. They're going to be opening up about deep secrets or deep secret feelings. And this might be exactly what you've needed to hear. This might have been what was feeling off, like they're keeping secrets or I don't know how they feel about me. Okay, Cancer, Pisces energy. What else do my Aries need to know here? Queen of Swords. So we have the King and the Queen of Swords. Some of you, this is an X, but for others of you, you two are a very strong intellectual match. And I feel when it comes to like your morals, your values, your integrity, you two are really in alignment is what I'm getting. This person is coming in with clear, truthful communication, maybe exposing secrets, you know, coming clean about something, or just telling you how they feel. All right, and we have the Hermit in reverse. Yep, so they've been overthinking things, but it looks like they've been in hermit mode and the moon energy, you know, like just, you know, being very tight-lipped here, hard to read, but that's all about to change. All right, Virgo energy there. And we see the Four of Wands in reverse. Some of you, you know, you may not have been sure if this person is single. Maybe the last time you saw them, they were married, or, you know, they were with somebody, or they were in a connection. I actually think this person is single now. Some of you know that, but you're not sure if they're ready. They have been experiencing some instability. For some of you, they're at a distance from you. And some of my Aries, like that's what feels off. Like you just don't do, you know, long distance connections, and that's fine. The Four of Cups, they're worried that you're going to reject them, or that you're not emotionally available to them, Aries, or you won't make yourself emotionally available to them. I think they're worried that you're going to kind of just shrug them off or blow them off. Sorry for my British. Anybody in the UK listening to me, I know that can be an awful thing for me to just say, but you know, that you're going to ignore them. All right, with the Strength card in reverse, this person might know that you're on the fence. They might also know that you're not particularly sure, or that you're not confident about them or about this connection. Some of them also know that you are uprooting these bad habits. And so they know that you're also not really at your best. Okay. Not to say that you don't look your best, or they don't think you're awesome or anything like that, but they just might know that you're kind of working on something here. Look at that. The King of Swords coming out again. This person knows they need to come at you correct, that they need to come clean, that they need to, they cannot come at you with any BS. They know that. This King of Swords, like, he's not going to take any shit, and they know that. All right, and we see the Fool in reverse. Yeah, they're worried that you're not going to take a risk, or you're not going to take a leap of faith with them. Some of my Aries, this person is worried because the Fool is your major arcana. For some of you, this person is worried that, what the truth here that they're going to tell you is going to kind of turn your world upside down and make you reject them. All right, and we see the moon card, Cancer, Pisces energy. This can be a scary landscape. It can be anxiety, it can be depression. They've been going through it. They've been going through a bit of a dark night here, Aries. And maybe they have been keeping secrets, whether that's just how they really feel about you or something bigger. Okay, but they're coming clean. All right, so let's see what else my Aries need to know about this person. What else do my Aries need to know about this person? All right, so Fool energy in reverse. So using humor to wound rather than liberate, or denial of your emotional truths. Now, I don't think this person was making mean jokes or like hurting you through jokes. I kind of get this person might have a self-deprecating humor, and they might use humor to deflect, okay? So that denial of their emotional truth. All right, and we see night energy, allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle, romantic delusions. So, I do see that with the moon card. It can be a delusional energy. I'm not saying this person is delulu, but what I am seeing is this person, I think they do get stuck in their head. They get stuck in their emotions, and they almost don't know what to believe. Even if you've sent them signals that you're interested, or even if they know you really well, I do see that this person gets kind of stuck in that moon energy, which can be a bit of a darkness, and I'm not really getting player energy from this person. Sometimes I get that from the night showing up in reverse, but that's not what I'm getting here. I get more so this person gets quite emotional, very deeply emotional. Maybe they get a little dark sometimes. All right. Let's see how they're viewing you, Aries. All right, we see child magical. So pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. They know that you're putting energy and action into personal growth, but they might feel like you're not actively working on growing this connection. They might feel like you're pessimistic about them or about love, okay, which may or may not be true. And we see artists. So some of you are very creative, and that's something that they love about you, but they also see that you can express a dimension of life that's just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. So maybe you've said something, or the way you are, you inspired them to see things a bit differently here, okay? But they love that you have that creative slant, or that creativity about you. Now, what we're not seeing here, Aries, is the Nine of Wands in reverse. This is somebody who's feeling exhausted, burning the candle at both ends. Now, I think you have something to do with that, right? Whether you know that or not. But I also read the Nine of Wands as somebody who's letting their ego down, okay? They're letting down their ego. All right, let's see what else we need to know. Like they're letting you in. They're divulging, like they're spilling the tea here. Yeah, they don't want conflict. They want stability. Okay, Judgment card. They don't trust their judgment though, and that's that moon energy. That's that night energy, that night archetype in reverse. But regardless, they're coming in with truth and clarity because they know that's their only chance to have something real with you. King of Swords, this is you being discerning, but this is also communication, truth, and clarity coming in. All right, and we have the Hanged Man. You're going to be seeing this person or this connection differently, Aries, Pisces energy. As we come out of Pisces season and into your season, there's nothing you need to do. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. It's like this person needs to come to you, or they need to come clean, or they need to move forward towards you. And we get the King of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. So, the King of Pentacles is going to be extremely discerning as to, whom he invests in. And we see that. This is a message from the beginning of your reading to the end. Not that we're quite at the end, but the King of Pentacles is like invest wisely. So that's what Spirit's asking you to do here. But I also see you have somebody making like real grounded, stable decisions and taking real grounded and stable action towards you. Gemini energy. Yeah, this person feels like your soulmates, and they've made this decision to come clean, to tell you how they feel. And that they want this, they want union, or they want togetherness. They want this connection to work out. All right, so let's see what else my Aries need to know about this person. What else do my Aries need to know about this person? Okay, so you've been in their dreams, but doesn't that make a lot of sense? All that moon energy, and we get dreams. You know, they've been going through it, okay? They've been going through it. And the moon can be a bit of a nightmarish landscape. They're feeling drained, okay? That 9 of Wands energy in reverse, and quickies. All right, so they're definitely physically attracted to you. Maybe some of you, this has been a connection where there was an affair, or for others of you, like it just hasn't really found its form yet. It doesn't necessarily mean you're sleeping with this person or you've had a fling with them, but of course, who am I to judge? Some of you, that might be the case. All right, so let's see what else we need to know about this person, Aries. What else do we need to know? They're in love with you. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense with this Gemini energy, the lovers. All right, much older, so there could be an age difference. Again, this person might look a little worse for the wear when you see them. All right, and we see liar. Okay, so this is something you do really want to be careful about. Now, I didn't get like through and through like this is a really bad person, but we do get this really strong theme in this reading of truth and truth telling and coming to you in truth and authenticity. So they may not have been completely honest with you in the past. For others of you, they just haven't shown you how they really feel. All right, so we see this person is accomplished, okay? But it's showing up in reverse, and it was kind of interesting because we got that King of Pentacles in reverse. This person might not be what they seem. And some of you, maybe they led you to believe they have more, or they are more than they really, you know, they have more than they really do, or they are more than what they really are. I don't know. So it is something to pay attention to, but I think you probably already know that. Okay. Stand your ground, you know, be careful where you invest. If this is somebody, you know, if this is somebody who's like a massive bullshitter, you know, trust your intuition. The messages are still clear. They're coming in with truth and clarity, and they want to heal things, or they want to come together with you. But that doesn't mean that you have to, you know, hear them out, or it doesn't mean that you have to, you know, deal with them anymore, right? I'm not saying that's the case for all of you, but for some of you it is the case. All right, so don't dismiss the red flags. Yeah, because there has been a level of secrecy or dishonesty here. Old wounds and childhood issues need revisiting. There's potential for healing. Your true love is already a part of your life. So a lot of my Aries are already around you. You already know that. They are in love with you. All right. But the big question mark is, does this situation align with your values and your morals, right? And people oftentimes show us or tell us who they are early on. Just remember that. But I also am a firm believer that people can change. You know, some people deserve a second chance. Now, not somebody who's cheated or somebody who's been lying to you about their identity, or, you know, telling you they're a millionaire when they're really a pauper or something like that. I mean, but, you know, for some of you, it's just like they weren't completely honest about their feelings at the time. So again, you know your situation. An external party is intruding on this relationship. That may be the case for some of you. Like I said, I think you already, you know what's going on here in your situation. And we did see that with that Empress energy in reverse. Some of you, you're not sure, you know, your ex might still be someone you're holding on to or hoping to heal things with, or maybe theirs, or maybe you feel like you or them are, you know, too soon out of a relationship or something. But third parties can be work, it can be distance, it can be bad advice, it can be gossip. So let's see what this person wants to say to you. I can't get enough of you. Yeah, I feel that. And we need to let each other go. Okay, that's for some of you. Maybe this felt too intense, or maybe they've tried to let you go. And I want to tell you how I feel. And I do think they'll be doing that. All right. I mean, all over this reading, we get that communication. We get that clarity coming in here. So what would they like to say to you that they might not be able to articulate? What would they like to say to my Aries that they may not be able to articulate? I'm finally feeling the consequences of my actions. Okay. And I can't ignore the signs I'm receiving any longer. And most likely they're getting a lot of signs and synchronicities in the dream space, or they can't sleep at night because of you. I want to be authentic. I'm no longer afraid. There it is. That's that swords energy, that Ace of Swords energy coming through. All right, Aries, so let's see what their very next actions are towards you, like in the next couple of days or the next week or so. What are their very next actions towards my Aries? Okay, Tower. So a bit avoidant. Okay, not taking a risk or a leap of faith. Experiencing the Ten of Swords, okay, and the Queen of Swords. So you're not going to be getting communication within the next week. Yeah, they're still stuck on the past. They're still kind of, drowning their sorrows for some of you. I don't know why I said that, but, or they're throwing themselves a bit of a pity party here. They're still in their feels. So it may take a little bit longer, if I can speak, to reach out, but they certainly will. But it probably won't be in the next 4 or 5 days or so. All right. Advice and guidance for my Aries. Let consistency lead. Feelings matter, but so do patterns, and so does consistency. Okay. Allow space to speak. Silence can reveal more than pressure. Okay, but that's until clarity asks to be spoken. So, if there's something you need to say, silence can reveal a lot, right? About somebody's capacity or willingness to repair. It can reveal insecurities, right? Things like that. But, at the same time, it's like silence can reveal more than pressure until clarity asks to be spoken. And I feel like that's what this person is going through, because I do feel like they're going to be giving you clarity. But again, if there's something you need to say, Aries, say it. All right. And be patient with yourself. Growth happens in layers. Okay, and don't personalize the pause or the quietness or the reason this person hasn't come towards you yet. Not everything is about you, and not everything requires a response. Okay, so again, this person's really going through it, and it has more to do with them than it really has to do with you. And I feel they're coming in with their truth and clarity soon. All right, my Aries, I'm going to leave it here, sending you love and light. Take care.